Hi, this is Alken, and welcome back to my channel. Well, we had some interesting news. A congressional candidate has just got indicted by the DOJ. What is that all about? I think she was messing with ICE, and ICE decided to mess with her, and guess who lost? She did. Anyway, this is from NBC News. Says DOJ indict Democratic congressional candidate Kat Abughazaleh, I don't know how to pronounce her name, over ICE protest. I don't think it's the protest that she got busted for, to be honest with you. The congressional candidate called the charge yet another attempt by the Trump administration to criminalize protests and punish those who dare to speak out. You know how many protests have been around since I was working for New York City Transit? At least 15 to 20. How many times did I got charged with a crime? Zero. And I did it for Democrat, Republican, and socialist causes. See, there's got to be more to the story than just Okay, so a special federal grand jury has indicted the Democrat congressional candidate Kat, whatever her name is, alongside other protesters who allegedly blocked vehicles outside of a federal immigration facility in Broadview, Illinois. Oh, it wasn't just the protesting. You block the vehicles, you block ICE. Yeah, you're going to get in trouble. The indictment, which was filed on October 23rd, alleges that the congressional candidate physically hindered and impeded an agent who was forced to drive at extreme slow speed or slow rate of speed to avoid injuring any of the correspondents. The congressional candidate was charged along with 5 other people, including 2 other political candidates. Ooh, yes. You know what they're going to do? They're going to use these indictments to raise money. She faced 1 count of conspiracy along with 1 charge alleged that she forcibly impeded, intimidated, and interfered with an officer. The indictment alleged the group conspired with one another and others known and unknown to prevent by force, intimidation, threat, Agent A United States law enforcement officer from discharging the duties of his office, and to injure him in person or property, and according to his law, discharge of the duties of his office, and while engaged in the lawful discharge, therefore, and to injure his property, and so forth, as to interrupt, hinder, impede him in the discharge of his official duties. The defendants were not arrested, but notified by the indictment, and will self-surrender next Wednesday, according to a court filing. U.S. District Judge April M. Perry, a Biden appointee, is assigned to the case. This is a political prosecution that tries to turn on dissent and the First Amendment opportunity to the Trump administration, cruel policies into conspiracy. Defense attorney Josh Herman, does he have a head? Told the NBC News in an email, Kat is a steadfast opposer to these policies, and she will fight these charges with the same principle and determination. Yeah, just because you got a Biden judge doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be smooth sailing. I have been charged in the federal indictment sought by the Department of Justice. This is a political prosecution. It's an attack on all our First Amendment rights. I'm not backing down. We will win. The congressional candidate wrote in a social media post. The fruitcake, a social media star and former journalist, is running for Congress in Illinois' 9th congressional district, currently held by retiring Democrat Representative Jan Sankowski. She has been vocal critic of the Trump administration immigration policies. Isn't that nice? Oh, and the fundraising emails to supporters. I knew it. The congressional candidate called the charges yet another attempt by the Trump administration to criminalize protest and to punish those who dare to speak up. What does blocking a vehicle and intending to injure somebody got to do with protest? Nothing. She added that Chicago doesn't back down from bullies in masks who tear gas our neighborhoods. This administration's resort to weaponize the federal legal season to scare us into silence. I hadn't heard anyone go silence. Broadview, a Chicago suburb, has 4 months stood in the center of confrontation between immigration authorities and protesters and rioters and other idiots who are doing stupid stuff. The facility, oh yeah, I put that in. The facility has drawn activists from around the country as well as demonstration from the greater Chicago area who has grown agitated over what they view as overreach by immigration officials. People who should mind their own business, but they decide to put the 2 cents in. The South suburb west of the city has faced its own struggles with the onslaught of protesters to the point that it's created a First Amendment zone where they can safely organize, and the mayor has restricted hours of protest to protect the sanity of the Broadview residents. Clashes between the protesters and immigration officials has resulted in arrest and First Amendment challenge in federal court. A federal judge earlier this month issued a temporary restraining order against law enforcement officials to curb the use of tacticals, stuff like shooting pepper balls or throw tear gas, cast into a crowd, particularly without warning. Well, somebody got hit in the head with a rock and they did get pepper balls. And that was the head of the Border Patrol. I don't think he had a chance to do warning if people are throwing rocks at you. So, no. I don't feel sorry for her. They should all go into prison. I mean, if you have protesters from around the country coming into Broadview, causing havoc in that community, that the mayor has to limit the amount of hours you can protest. This is not Portland. Portland, they let them do what the hell they wanted to do. But when they threatened to put the National Guard in, all of a sudden, you gotta pack up and leave. Bye. We don't want to take chances. We don't want to find out the hard way that Trump is going to actually do this. And they left. Not happy with the Portland Police Department that they thought it was our ally. Well, it was our ally until, So, well, we worried about Trump. We don't know what's going to happen. Oh, yeah, that situation in Portland gotten so bad. Now they're having problems with trying to get a bridge replacement in Portland because the bridges in Portland could not withstand the big one if an earthquake hit over there. But because of all the tensions between Portland and Oregon and the federal government, they may not get the grant for the bridge replacement. That's stupid. I don't blame the federal government. I blame the Oregon officials and Portland officials because they know that bridge is important, and that's more important than stupid Antifa. You shouldn't let Antifa do what the hell they want to do because now you need that bridge and you don't have it and the big one hits, you're screwed because all those bridges are going to go. And nobody's going to be singing London Bridge is falling down because they'll be panicking, running for their lives if these things start cracking down. Breaking down the bridges and stuff. Horrible. So I'm glad she's got indicted. This all can't say so long for now. Don't forget your stop. Uh-huh.